We are back answering your stimulus-related questions with Mark Hensley, AARP North Carolina Triad Region, and Scott Braddock from Scott Braddock Financial. All right, let's take on this question right here, Scott. This person is asking, if you owe money to the IRS, will you get a check?
Regardless if you owe the IRS back taxes, you are still going to receive this stimulus check as long as you meet the other qualifications. Just to put this out there, the only way that you would not receive this stimulus check is if you owe back child support. That is the only caveat to receiving the stimulus check as long as you meet the other qualifications.
Okay. This person is asking, will a retired individual receive a stimulus check? If that person has a pension, does it matter? Mark?
It does not matter. What matters is, what is your income threshold? So keep in mind that the way this is proposed right now, single individuals up to an adjusted gross income of $75,000 a year based on their 2019 taxes would be eligible for a stimulus. After that 75,000 threshold, it begins to diminish. So first, what is your income? So the pension, it could be really that high, but again, it depends on, regardless of your source of income, it depends on what amount you're receiving.
All right, this question says, my stimulus went into my wife's bank account last time. She's passed since then. Will my stimulus go into her account this time?
So it sounds like possibly what we had there is his wife had filed their tax return and used her account. And so it was her account that they had on file. So if she's passed away, the IRS really has no idea of knowing that. And I'm curious of whether or not that banking account is even still open at this point in time. So then depending on whether or not it's open or not, it could bounce back, it could be deposited, and he may have a challenge accessing those funds.
Yeah, that might be a little bit of a rigmarole to get that one worked out. And that will be something where you can't, start accessing the IRS right at the very beginning when they're doing the checks. That might be something that we have to work on a couple months later for that one. This person says, my husband and I have been on Social Security over 4 years. We got our check in the mail. Will it be mailed again this time? Mark?
More than likely. Now, keep in mind that sources are saying that they have solved the delay for Social Security recipients in receiving this second round of direct cash payment stimulus. One would assume if you received a check in the last time, that that's what you're going to receive this time, unless the IRS has your direct deposit information on file. And if your Social Security is being direct deposited, you may see a direct deposit, which is much, much faster.
This person says, I went on the non-filers on the IRS website when I applied for the first check. Will I need to do this again?
I'm thinking they will need to do that once more, because we're still in the same year. Most folks, of course, have not filed their tax returns for 2020 because we're still in this current year. So that's not going to take place until next year. So that's when that can be taken care of and addressed at that time.
This person says, in 2019, taxes were filed jointly and my spouse has since passed away. Would I still be eligible for the stimulus? You are eligible, but it could be kind of tricky about how much money you get and what you might have to do with it afterwards. Is that right, Mark?
Right. So as in the last stimulus, if you received the joint amount today and in 2 days your spouse passed away, you get to keep that money. But if one of those spouses have passed away and you get the double amount, the IRS asks that you politely send back half, and they have specific instructions for what information to include on your check back to the IRS.
This person says, I'm an independent contractor. How will it be determined on my stimulus amount? Is it gross or net?
It's your adjusted gross income, your AGI, that they're going to be looking at. And one interesting question I get quite often is, well, what if I'm over $75,000 and it's $80,000? That's my AGI. Well, for every $100 over, they're going to deduct $5 of that benefit. So it decreases above and beyond that threshold.
Right. It adjusts down bit by bit until you get.
So you still may receive something, but it's going to be reduced.
Right. Okay. Thank you for taking your time to answer these stimulus related questions. I'm sure we're going to do this again in 2021. I'm sure. Thank you for sending in your text questions as well. WFMY News 2 at 6 is next.